Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Natasha Ain binti Afindi and I am from DEC 6B. My student number is IDI 1601026. Today, I would like to make a commentary video based on Chapter 8, which is Stratification. Okay, social stratification refers to a system by which a society ranks categories of people in a hierarchy. In the United States, it is perfectly clear that some groups have greater status, power, and wealth than other groups. These differences are what lead to the social stratification. There were 4 stages of stratification, which is slavery, estates, castes, and social classes. We start with slavery. What is slavery? Slavery is the most closed system, or the ownership of people, which has been quite common in human history. Slavery is thought to have begun 10,000 years ago after agricultural society developed, as people in these societies made prisoners of war work on their farms. Many of the ancient lands of the Middle East, including Babylonia, Egypt, and Persia, also owned slaves, as did ancient China and India. Slavery especially flourished in ancient Greece and Rome, which used thousands of slaves for their trade economies. Most slaves in ancient times were prisoners of war or debtors. As trade died down during the Middle Age, so did slavery. For the next stage is estate system. Estate systems are characterized by control of land and were common in Europe and Asia during the Middle Age and into the 18th. In this system, 2 major estates exist: the land gentry or nobility and the peasantry or the serf. The landed gentry owned a huge expanse of land on which serfs toiled. The serf had more freedom than a slave had, but typically lived in a poverty and were subject to arbitrary control by the nobility. Estate system thrived in Europe until French Revolution in 1789 violently overturned the existing order and inspired people in other nations with its cries for freedom and equality. As time went on, Europe's estate system slowly gave way to the class system of stratification. After the American colonies won their independence from Britain, the South have had at least one characteristic of an estate system: the control of large plots of land by a relatively few wealthy individuals and their families, but it used slaves rather than serfs to work at the land. Moving to the next stage in stratification is casta. In a caste system, people are born into unequal group based on their parents' status and remain in this group for the rest of their life. For many years, the best known caste system was in India, where supported by Hindu belief emphasizing the acceptance of one fate in life, several major castes dictated one's life chance from the moment of birth, especially in rural areas. People born in the lowest caste live in abject poverty throughout their life. Another caste, the Harijan or untouchable, was considered so low that technically was not thought to be a caste at all. Okay, people in this caste were called the untouchable because they were considered unclean and were prohibited from coming near to the people in the higher castes. Traditionally, caste membership in India almost totally determined an individual life, including what job you had and whom you married. For example, it's almost impossible to marry someone in another caste. After India won its independence from Britain in 1949, its new constitutions granted equal right to the untouchables. Modern communication and migration into cities further weakened the caste system, as members of different castes now had more contact with each other. Still, caste prejudice remained a problem in India and illustrate the continuing influence of its traditional system of social stratification. Another country that used to have caste system is South Africa. In the day of apartheid, from 1950 to 1990, a small group of white Afrikaners ruled the country. Black people constitute more than 3/4 of the nation's population and thus greatly outnumber Afrikaners. But they had worse job, could not vote, and lived in poor, segregated neighborhoods. Afrikaners bolstered their role with the aid of the South African police, which used a terror tactic to intimidate blacks. Okay, for the next stage, I would like to relate to the motion number 9, which is a social class is the only form that of a stratification that still exists in the world. Okay, what is social class? A social class is a group of people of similar status, commonly sharing comparable level of power and wealth. In the social class, there are two types, which are class consciousness and false consciousness. Class consciousness is a subjective awareness of common vested interests and the need of collective political action to bring about change, while false consciousness is an attitude held by members of class that does not accurately reflect their objective position. Okay, regarding to the motion, I think other stage is still exists in the world, not only the social class. As I mentioned earlier, all the castes that the castes and the slavery system are still exist in the today world. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your time. See you next time. Bye.